Hi you guys, this is Cooking with Amy. So I thought I'd do round two with making bread because I just feel like the one that I did live, just my bread wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to. So I woke up like at 5 in the morning thinking this did not turn out the way that I made it the first time. Well, come to find out, I did use a different flour. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm looking at the web, looking at the difference between a strong flour, which is bread flour, and all-purpose flour. So there is a difference between it. You want to use bread flour. You want to use a stronger flour than all-purpose flour. Because it has more, it's like a heavier texture. I can't remember exactly what it said. But, so I went out today and I got some bread flour. And I do remember that last time when I did make the bread, for my very first time, I think I used a pastry bread because like I said, at that time, the pandemic had started and there wasn't really much flour. So I used a pastry bread. So even just filling this now, I can kind of feel a different texture between it. So I already put some flour in here. It's 2.5 cups of bread flour. And I just went and got the gold medal, this guy, just a bread flour. Because like I said, I just wanted to try it out and see how that one worked. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do our rapid dry yeast packet. Use the scissors on these. And again, you're gonna put it on one side. I still feel some in there. Hold on. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna get my scale. We're gonna do our salt. And like I said, these are very simple, easy ingredients. I'm gonna actually get my measuring spoons out so I can see exactly how much salt this is. So right now I'm just starting off with 1 teaspoon. We're gonna see. So 1 teaspoon equals 6 grams. So now I'm gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon and see if that will equal up to 6. Equal up to 7. Okay, so it wasn't even quite a 1/4. Well, anyways, we know that's at least 7 grams of salt that we need in there. All right, so let's get this out of the way. All right, so again, like I said, you wanted your yeast and your salt on each side. And I left my warm water over there. So I'm gonna mix in the yeast, and then I'm gonna mix in the salt really good, and then I'm just gonna start mixing this. Let me go ahead and de-bling here. Whoops. Don't want that in there. It's the reason why I wear that other ring, because that one always falls off. All right, let's get this out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna add my warm water. And before my hands get gooey, I'm gonna take the lid off of this time so we don't have to worry about it. We're gonna also use some olive oil. So before I start adding my water, I am gonna add a little bit of this in here because I went back and I watched a video of Paul Hollywood. He's the professional little baker here of yummy breads. And he added some, and I think it kind of makes it a little bit delicious here. All right, I'm gonna start adding my water. Okay, now again, I just use my hands because you can just mix it in. See, I can feel a total difference with this flour, with the bread flour, than I did with the all-purpose flour. I can already tell a difference. All right, so and then what we're gonna do with these two, you guys, is when we're making this, even though I used all-purpose flour, I let that bread rise overnight. So when I was making my video the first time, I let it sit, and then I let it sit overnight. And when I came back to it, I can see a difference. I can see the smoothness, but still, even when I baked it, and I still have that bread. So when we let this sit and rise, and I come back to making this, we will see the difference between this bread using the the bread flour compared to the all-purpose flour. So we want to mix this in and keep mixing it in. And I think also too with that one, I was having an issue with it not being like the way like how his was. It was nice and smooth. And I think it's because I didn't use enough water. So I swear to God, you guys, we are going to be professional bread makers by the time we are done doing this. Now this seems a little bit better already than the last time I made it. So, yep, this is way much better. All right, see, there's no more dough in there. So we are going to take this, and I am going to take a little bit of flour and put it down here, and then we're going to start kneading this. That's exactly what we want it to look like. It is a little bit sticky on my hand. That's why I put a little bit more flour down so we can start kneading this. I can tell a total complete difference with this, you guys. It's, yeah, totally different. Totally different texture. It feels different. It feels better, like it's working with me. And I think I got too much water in this one, but that's okay. Once we start kneading this, all that gluten will start working in there. I can like even just look at the dough. It looks so much better. Oh my goodness, this feels like it's supposed to. It looks like how his was. I should put a little bit more flour, but that's okay. Like I said, it's looking like how his was. Just trying to get this off my hands and in here. See, look at that. Like I do need some more flour. Don't know how I'm gonna get that out of here. Let's use this and stick it in there. Don't need that much, but there we go. Totally different. See how this is? Remember how I said his was nice and smooth? Look at this. Look how nice and smooth this is. Much better. Let me get some of this extra stuff off of my hands. Okay, I can totally see a difference in this dough, you guys. Totally different. See how easy it is? Remember I said how his was like, how his was nice and soft and smooth? This is working with you guys. Absolutely working. Let's get some of this flour out of the way because I did do a little bit too much flour. But again, it's working with me, you guys. So much different compared to last time. Let's move that over so you can see a little bit more. See how I said that, you know, we wanted to make it? And see how it's nice and smooth? Put that back in, I don't need that. Yeah, I'm gonna add a little bit of this on here because we are gonna put it in a bowl here in a minute. Let's just work that in. So much difference, you guys. Huge difference. So I stand corrected on the flour. So much better. So much easier to work with. And it's definitely working in to that nice, smooth ball that you want. See, that's what we want. So I am going to take a different bowl compared to the one that we used. I'm just going to use a different bowl so we can raise this and get this going. Let me grab a different bowl real quick. All right, and then the other thing I learned too that I did see is that when you take your bowl, just put a little olive oil in it. Just whoosh it around a little bit, just kind of coat the sides of it. Then we're going to take this beautiful, beautiful bread, and we're going to plop it in there. Now we're going to sit and let it rest. Let me wash my hands. Okay, we got most of that flour off. And now we are going to let this rest for 9 hours. We're just going to cover it with some plastic. And then we're going to let this baby rest and rise and prove, however you guys want to call it. But that's what we're going to do. You want to put it somewhere warm so it can rise and prove. They want warm. They want warm. Now don't stick it on top of your oven and use your oven and use that. You don't want to do that. But since I'm not using my oven right now, I am going to put it over here and let it do its thing. And then that's it, you guys. And then we'll come back and we'll see how it looks after 9 hours. So I just wanted to show you guys that I did use the wrong flour. You don't want to use all-purpose flour. Now there is a way that you can do all-purpose flour and make it strong, or make it considered a bread kind of flour. It's like you use the 2.5 cups and then you take a 1/2 cup back and then you use different kind of flour. I didn't really kind of remember. Like I said, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning when I was looking at this. And I thought it would be just easier just to go get a bread flour and try it with that and see how it goes. As you can see, there's a total complete difference from using an all-purpose flour and using a bread flour. So you definitely want to use a bread flour when you are making bread. So, all right, guys, I will see you guys in a bit. Thank you.